In his opinion, the housekeeper of the entire family can be said to be the highest position that the upper class can give to outsiders. Stephen can sit in this position, and he can protect his glory and wealth in this life. He does not want Stephen to do it for him. Give up this godsend opportunity. Although Stephen was no longer Charlie's father's personal butler, he became more and more loyal to Charlie's father, and even regarded him as the object of his life, looking up and assisting him. It's a pity that Charlie's father left too early, which is also Stephen's greatest guilt in this life. He always felt that if he was still Charlie's father's personal butler, then maybe Charlie's parents would not die. Even if he could block a few shots for them in a critical moment, they could still had one more chance of survival. Thinking of the old things, Stephen couldn't cry. Charlie's heart throbbed as he heard his crying. Although many years have passed, Charlie's heart is also extremely painful and resentful when he thinks that his parents died not by accident but by fate. As a son of man, the hatred of parents is not shared. Don't need Stephen to say this hatred, he will definitely do his best to repay it. Otherwise, it is really a waste of man. So, his voice said indifferently, "Steward Stephen, don't worry about this. Charlie swears to God that I will avenge my parents by myself. All those who participated in the murder of my parents back then counted as one. I won't let them go." That's good. Stephen was very excited, but he said seriously, "Master, you must not be impulsive about this matter. There are many clues behind this that I haven't sorted out yet, so I still think about it for a long time. Don't expose them early." Charlie said, "I know, don't worry." After speaking, Charlie said again, "I have another question, I hope you answer it truthfully." Stephen said immediately, "Master, just ask." Charlie pondered for a moment and asked, "My wife, Claire, did you arrange it?" Stephen hurriedly said, "This is really not. I also know your wife's grandfather. I really didn't expect that he could meet you at the construction site where you work, knowing that he wanted to marry you to his granddaughter. At that time, although I knew that his granddaughter was not worthy of you, I did not stop him at that time, because I just wanted to protect your safety and did not want to interfere with your life." Charlie breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that his childhood in the orphanage was Stephen's arrangement, so he was afraid that he would meet Claire and it was his arrangement. So he said to Stephen, "Steward Stephen, come here first. I have an appointment tonight. You can help me sort out the clues you have these days. If I have the opportunity, I will talk to you in person." "Okay, master." Charlie hung up the phone, only then realized that 2 lines of tears flowed unconsciously on his cheeks. He only learned today that it turned out that more than 10 years ago, his parents were murdered by bad men. He only learned today that it turned out that more than 10 years ago, the orphanage he lived in was completely arranged by Stephen, in order to completely hide all his information. The world today has undergone earth-shaking changes in his eyes, as if the whole world has become unfamiliar. The last time he felt this way, it was the moment when he accidentally got the 9 profound heaven scriptures. And the last time he felt this way was when he was 8 years old, when he learned of parents' death. Just when he was lost, Liang called and said, "Master, when will you come? Do you want me to pick you up by car?" "No need." Charlie said, "I will pick up my wife now, and then I will pass. You will wait for me for a while." After speaking, he hung up the phone and rode the small electric bike to Claire's studio. At the same time, the office of the Dean of the Orus Hill Welfare Institute. Seeing Stephen finish the call, the Dean respectfully asked, "Steward Stephen, what should I do now?" Stephen sighed, and said, "Since the young master already knows, you don't need to stay in the orphanage anymore. In the future, you should return to the post of the Wade family. I will settle down for you. Over the years, thanks for your hard work." The Dean immediately bowed and said, "Steward Stephen, the second son has been waiting for me as a mountain before his death. I will wait to serve young master, and I will die." Stephen nodded and said, "You are all the people who have worked so hard to cultivate for many years. For more than 10 years, condescending to be in a small orphanage has not only worked hard for you, but also felt wronged. Take a good rest during this time. When the young master inherits the Wade family one day, You will all be the servants of the young master, and then you will be loyal to him. You guys grew up watching the young master. He is kind, upright, and honest. If one day he can control the Wade family, I believe he will never treat you badly." The dean immediately nodded and said, "This is also because the young master has suffered a lot since childhood, so he has this precious quality. This quality in him is something I can't see in all the rich second generations." Stephen smiled slightly. "Therefore, it may not be a bad thing to let the young master suffer in the orphanage back then. The young master is the only son of the second son after all. Not less than the second son." After all, Stephen waved his hand and said happily, "Okay, I'm going back to Eastcliff. You have a meeting these few days, and then hand over the orphanage to the relevant departments in Orus Hill. I will meet tomorrow. I'll give you a sum of money. You will go back to meet your family first, and then find a comfortable resort to rest and rest." The dean bowed again. "Thanks, Stephen Butler.